Buying your first home can be extremely overwhelming, especially in a market like Austin, Texas. There are so many options online, it's hard to know what's actually true. So in this video, I'm walking you through the entire process from start to finish. We'll cover everything from how much money you need, what your monthly payments are gonna look like, what the biggest mistakes buyers make, and what happens in between deciding to buy and actually getting the key. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, I'm Vecchio, your Austin luxury and lifestyle real estate agent. I help people just like you every week either relocate here, upsize, downsize, sell their properties, and everything in between. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for weekly content. Let's get into today's video. So let's get started with one of the main questions that I get all the time. Is now a good time to buy? Now, right now, there's obviously a lot of inventory on the market, which gives buyers leverage and negotiating power that didn't exist a few years ago. Now, obviously, interest rates are nowhere near what they were back in the COVID days, but what is happening right now is buyers have that negotiating power back. So you're seeing sellers give closing cost incentives, rate buy down incentives, and especially new construction homes are offering these killer incentives to try to be ahead of the curve and compete with the entire market. And also what that does for the resale homes is it pushes them to try to match those same incentives. So if you want new construction, but say you want this one house that's a 2024 build and it's not brand spanking new, so you don't have those new build incentives, because it's close to where new construction is being built, it's gonna put the pressure on the sellers of that resale home to try to compete and do something exactly like the new construction builders are doing. Let's talk about number two. How much money do you need? There's a giant misconception and a huge myth that you need 20% down or more to buy your first home. This simply is just not true. Even with a conventional loan, you can get as low as 3%, or with an FHA loan, 3.5%. You just need to have an agent that can point you in the right direction to make sure that you shop around a few different lenders to get the best rate that you possibly can and that offers these kind of loans. Now, how much do you really need up front? What are the other costs that are gonna come along with this? So earnest money. Earnest money is gonna be the money that you have to put up front that shows how serious you are. Put some skin in the game to the seller to let them know that you're serious. And also the option fee. So the option fee is gonna be the money that you put up to have a 7-day, which is typical, or longer or shorter option period to go through inspection, to make sure everything is right and do your due diligence to make sure that nothing is off about the house. So within that period of time, you can cancel the contract and get your earnest money back. You won't get the option fee back, which is significantly less. Usually about $250 to $350 is the option fee, and then the earnest money is typically 1% of the sales price is what you will put up front initially after you execute the contract. You also have to take into account the inspection costs, which can range from about $300 to $400, moving expenses, and the rest of the closing costs. But the good news is that sellers are negotiating with concessions for those closing costs. So you can try to get in your negotiations concessions towards those fees. So concessions pretty much just means money that you can use in whichever way you would like. So if that's closing costs, buying down the rate further, or any other expenses that you want covered, if there's a repair or something like that, those concessions can cover all of those costs. Now, obviously every situation is different, but this is something that we're gonna try to look for and try to negotiate on every offer, especially right now in today's market. Let's talk about number three, getting pre-approved to actually know what the numbers look like and what you're even pre-approved for. Because the last thing you wanna do is get super excited about a house, go out, look at all these gorgeous houses, and end up finding out that maybe you got pre-approved for a little less than what your dream home was, and then your dreams are crushed and you don't get to have that home that in your mind you were already moving into. Or it could be the opposite. You could be looking at a home way below what your actual approval could be, and who knows, maybe you can get that 5 or 6 bedroom or that extra media room that you didn't think was possible. So one of the first things you want to do is get pre-approved with the lender, just to make sure that you have those numbers in place, and it's a great starting point. We can always continue to shop around lenders after the fact. Getting pre-approved also puts you in a position to make strong offers. If you want to put in an offer on a house and you don't have a pre-approval letter to attach to that offer, they're not going to take it very seriously, because they're going to want to see either proof of finances or that pre-approval letter. Number 4 is extremely important. This is finding the right neighborhood. Where do you want to live? Do you have a family? Are you single? Is it just you and your wife? Do you want to live in a high-rise downtown with the hustle and bustle of the city, next to restaurants and bars? Or is top-rated school districts on the top of your list because you have a family and you want to make sure that your kids are going to the best schools possible? Do you want hiking trails? Do you want a great community pool? Do you want a pool of your own? All these things are major things that you're going to want to think about when you start your home search. It's not about just the house, it's about where that house is, where the community is, and how you can see yourself fitting in there for years to come. Number 5 is gonna be the fun part. You're actually gonna start touring the houses. You're gonna be able to see what layout works best for you. Do you want a single story? Do you want 2-story? Do you want the primary on the first floor or the second floor? Do you want the modern feel, or do you want more of an old school Austin vibe? All of these things are gonna come into play, but it's things that you can get excited about because you already know your taste. I'm sure going into it, you're gonna have an idea of what you're looking for and kind of what is in your mind when you think about the house you wanna live in. But when you actually get to see it in person, that's when everything starts to really narrow down. I always tell my clients to imagine the house completely empty. Can you still imagine yourself in this house? Because what you're gonna run into as well as resale homes, especially if the owner is there, you're going to experience the house with their furniture inside and sometimes their pictures if they don't set up the house properly. So it's gonna be your job to really try to visualize yourself living inside that house. On the other hand, some houses may be staged, and this is a great way for you to kind of get an idea of what furniture can go in that room, what can fit in this room, what will it look like. But you want to make sure that you really have that mental image of, can I really see myself living here, and what does that look like? Let's talk about number 7. Once you find the home, you fell in love with it, and you're ready, you're going to make the offer. The price of the home is only one piece that we're gonna start with to negotiate all the way down to get an executed contract. We're gonna negotiate the closing costs, the repairs, the rate buy downs. All of these things are gonna be negotiated before we sign anything. The goal isn't getting you an accepted offer. The goal is getting you the best opportunity possible. Next, after we get that accepted offer, we're gonna go into the inspection period. This is where we're gonna get an inspector out there as soon as the next day to go through and inspect every single piece of that home. We're gonna make sure the roof age is appropriate, the HVAC is working, there's no cracks in the foundation, there's no hidden nails coming out of the wall, no holes in the walls. The inspector's gonna go through absolutely everything so that when we get that report back and we go through it together, we can see what we can come back for if we need to ask for any concessions for any repairs, or if we need them to repair anything before you even move in. Once everything is solidified and we move forward past the option period, past the inspection, this is when the title company is gonna get all the documents together. The lender is gonna finish up the loan and get everything into underwriting. And then you'll do a final walkthrough a day before the closing day. And then you sign the papers and get the keys. Now that's the entire process from start to finish, but what are the biggest mistakes that buyers make in between that time? Now, a lot of it has to do with finance. So this means that you don't wanna go out and buy a new car when you're in escrow, in the period when the house is under contract and closing. You don't wanna buy any furniture that goes on your credit. You don't want anything to impact your credit during that time, because it will impact your rate or the loan process in getting it to the closing table. Another mistake is worrying too much about the rate. The rates are gonna be what they are right now. Whether you are dreaming and wishing they could be 2 or 3%, it's just not what it is. But the good news is that you're not marrying the rate. You can refinance later, and you can also just try to get those rate buy downs and the rate incentives from new construction communities. So don't think too much about the rate right now, and just trust that if you work with a competent realtor and a great lender that we're gonna get you the best opportunity possible. Another big mistake is waiting for the perfect time. No one can perfectly time the market, no one. So waiting for that perfect time, you can be passing up your dream home, you can be passing up opportunities, and who knows what's gonna happen in the next 5 years. You could have bought and had a great opportunity for equity later, or got a refinance down the road that would be way better than if you bought in 2 years or bought in that next year. There's no perfect time. The perfect time is when you navigate the market and have an agent in your corner that can negotiate and make sure that we are doing everything we possibly can to work within this market. The best move is when you personally are financially prepared. So if you're thinking about buying a home in Austin, especially if it's your first time, give me a call, comment below, send me a DM. I would love to send you my free buyer's guide. Everything that we talked about in this video, I have it all laid out in a PDF form for you. And I'd love to help you along the journey of buying your first home and making sure that you have someone in your corner that is going to go to bat for you, negotiate, and take advantage of the market that we're in. If there's anything that you think I missed that first-time home buyers need to know, or if there's any questions that you have that I missed, comment below as well or shoot me a message. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for weekly videos, and I will see you on the next video.